One day in the territory of Afghanistan, a convoy of United States Army troops become choked up because there's a problematic vehicle. After that, a combat engineer named Alan came to try to repair the vehicle. After completing his task, Alan spoke with the convoy leader named Jia. They are both brothers. Alan and Jia then agreed to join the United States Army Ranger Selection Program, which will be implemented soon. Shortly thereafter, all the soldiers on site were hit by a surprise mortar attack from the Taliban. When this attack killed many soldiers, Alan was able to rise. In injured condition, Alan struggles to evacuate Jia, who is critical. 2 years later, Alan left for the United States Army Ranger Selection Program. Apparently, Alan had previously participated in the same Ranger Selection Program several times. He always fails for health reasons. Arriving at the destination, Alan and all the program participants got the serial number of participants. This serial number will be the nickname for the candidate. And Alan was assigned number 81 and appointed team leader, but Alan refused. After that, a sergeant named Torres briefed all the candidates. For starters, Torres explained that Rangers are elite soldiers who are always first deployed in the battlefield. Because of this, the Rangers' actions can determine the fate of the country in certain situations. The next stage, Torres stated that each selection would test the physical, mental, and emotional strength of the candidates to the limits of their abilities. Torres finally announced that candidates who passed the selection were entitled to receive a Ranger badge and would join one of the best regiments in the United States Army. As time passed, all the candidates began to undergo a series of selections. Some candidates later gave Alan the nickname as Superman because he had the strongest physique among all the candidates. Day after day passed until Alan went through the selection process that took place in the pool. In the midst of his struggle, Alan suddenly remembered the moment when he struggled to evacuate Jia to a nearby base. The memory instantly damaged Alan's mental stability because the moment of evacuation left a heavy trauma. In the end, Alan failed to pass the selection and had to be saved so that he would not drown. After that, Alan faced Sergeant Torres and Sergeant Sheridan. They then discussed some indications that Alan was unfit to be a ranger. These indications include experiencing severe and prolonged trauma, avoid communication with other candidates, even turned down the opportunity to be a team leader. The problem is that Alan is one of the best candidates right now. But no matter what the reason was, Alan was eventually ordered to sign the resignation form for his own good. But Alan refuses because being a ranger has been a dream of his and his brother, Jia, for a long time. The next day, Sergeant Torres announced the list of candidates that qualified for the final selection. Alan was unexpectedly included in the list, even though he had previously been removed from the selection program facility. Sometime later, Torres gave the mission, which became the final selection for the candidates. The mission was to destroy a top-secret aircraft that had previously been shot down. In addition, candidates are required to find the location of the village where the pilot of the secret plane was held captive by the rebels. At the end of the briefing, Torres revealed that all candidates must carry out the mission as a team. Surprisingly, Torres appointed Alan as team leader. Apparently, Torres secretly did this to test how appropriate Alan was to be a ranger. As time passed, Alan's team members flew to the mountainous area. They then landed at a point closest to the crash site of the secret plane called the Destroyer.
Chalk 1 down, Ghost 1 up, shifting to cover.
After that, Alan announced that his team had a 24-hour time limit to complete the mission. Time went on until they finally found the destroyer. Alan then explained his strategy so they could blow up the destroyer without being ambushed by the instructor. After receiving instructions from Alan, the demolition team planted a number of C4 bombs on the destroyer. Once in a safe place, they activate the bomb to destroy the destroyer. However, unexpectedly, the destroyer did not suffer any damage from the bomb explosion. Instead, this explosion actually triggered the destroyer to return to operation and then turned into a combat robot. Then the destroyer emitted a beam to detect all the members there. Then the destroyer carried out a deadly attack on them. In this situation, all the team members could only escape to avoid the destroyer's attack. They couldn't fight back since this was just an exercise, then their weapons had no ammunition in the first place. When Alan's team was cornered, the destroyer attacked them with bombs. As a result of the explosion, Alan and the others were knocked and fell off the cliff. One of them, number 7, sustained quite serious injuries. Not only that, the other members were also all injured and trying to get back on their feet. Alan, as the team leader, tried to get up and help his injured team members. But unfortunately, some members could not be saved and died. After helping his team, Alan went alone to look for the communication tools left behind. He wanted to seek help and an explanation for the incident. However, Alan finds his communication device has broken. Alan then sees the destroyer, and he can only hide while watching one of its members killed by the destroyer. After Alan returned, they rushed to escape and had to climb down the cliff to avoid the destroyer. Alan then noticed his compass suddenly malfunctioning, indicating that the destroyer was near them. And sure enough, the destroyer finally arrived, then attacked Alan's army members who were descending the cliff. Alan and the others then struggled to escape again after their hideout was discovered by a destroyer. After escaping the destroyer, they decided to take a short break. Now they wonder and are confused. What exactly is the destroyer? And they realized that this was not training prepared for them. Before the object starts attacking blindly, Alan then plans to go to a village to ask for help from the coaches. But their escape attempt faced problems, as they had to cross a river with a very swift current. Alan planned to cross using a rope, and Alan then tried to swim across to tie his rope. Arriving across, Alan immediately tied a rope to a tree. After that, the team members began to cross one by one, carrying 7 on a stretcher. While crossing, 15 ran into trouble. He was stuck in the middle of the rope. Alan then went to help 15, who was stuck in the middle of the rope. When Alan tried to help, the destroyer reappeared and attacked them instantly. The attack caused everyone to fall into the river and be swept away by the strong current. The destroyer continued to chase and attack them. Alan, who saw 7, immediately followed him and held his stretcher tightly. They were all panicking because there was a waterfall in front of them. Alan and the others were forced to fall from the waterfall. Luckily, Alan and 7 were quickly rescued by their teammates. Alan and 7 are safe. Then they take a short break. Here they fully realized and ensured that destroyer attacks were not part of their training. After that, they continued their journey to the village. On the way, they almost hit a trap. This trap was part of the training. Not long after, they finally arrived at the village. But the village was completely destroyed and the radio tower collapsed. They then found one of the sergeants seriously injured. Shortly afterward, the sergeant died and they all mourned the loss. Alan and his team realize that the trainers have also been slaughtered by the destroyer. After seeing asteroid fragments and other clues, they learn that the destruction robot that has been chasing them is an alien robot from outer space. Alan then ordered his team members to check the armored vehicles there. However, 15 was angry and defied Alan's order. He said they need time to grieve and digest what is happening. Then he said that Alan was a heartless hero who only cared about his Silver Star medal. Hearing that, Alan became angry and revealed that he was not a hero. He fainted before reaching the base, and his brother died after failing to cross the finish line. For him, the medal was just a reminder of his failure and the worst day of his life. 15 and the others snapped to their senses and worked together to quickly repair the armored car there. But when they tried to start the engine, it turned out that the engine would not start. Fortunately, 15, with his expertise as a military equipment technician, managed to repair the machine. Now they are working together to restore the position of the vehicle that was previously stuck. Shortly thereafter, there were signs that the destroyer was about to reach the post. They immediately rushed into the vehicle. As the vehicle was about to leave, 15 ran over to pick up the car's rifle ammunition. But unfortunately, 15 was hit by a destroyer shot. But he managed to throw the bullet into the car. After that, they fled while shooting at the destroyer. However, the destroyer retaliated with relentless attacks. And over time, the vehicle began to be damaged by the destroyer attacks.
Incoming!
When Alan and his team thought they had escaped, the destroyer returned with a more powerful and aggressive attack. Alan then tried to fight the destroyer off with the guns in the vehicle. However, the weapons were ineffective at taking down the destroyer. The vehicle was eventually rolled over by the destroyer's attack. Then Alan suddenly woke up and found all their team members dead, except for 7. Alan found him lying not far from the car. Soon, Alan saw the destroyer sending out a signal. It seems that the robot is communicating with its colleagues. Suddenly, there was a small explosion around Alan. The destroyer then stopped and headed to Alan's place. Alan then immediately ran over while carrying 7 lying on a stretcher to avoid the destroyer. When he was in the hiding place, 7 came back to his senses and told Alan his secret. It turned out that 7 used to be Jay's colleague. 7 also knew Jay's desire to become a ranger with Alan. Then Alan said it was because of this dream that he wanted to be a ranger for Jay so that he could overcome his trauma. Not long after, the destroyer arrived. Then Alan remembered something and got the idea to defeat the destroyer. Then Alan hid 7 in the forest area, then rushed to the mining facility not far away. Once there, Alan finds equipment that he thinks will help his strategy to stop the destroyer. Soon, the destroyer was moving towards the mining facility, lured by flares fired by Alan. Arriving at the mine, the destroyer was hit by the explosion of several dynamite bombs that Alan set as a trap. The destroyer then fell down. After that, Alan immediately attacked the destroyer using a bulldozer to push it closer to the stone-crushing machine. Then Alan dropped small rocks right on top of the destroyer, which was a ventilation shaft. Alan continued to press the destroyer and managed to close the destroyer's main ventilation hole. Then Alan jumped out because he saw that the destroyer was about to be destroyed. Shortly thereafter, the destroyer exploded and ceased operation. But before it was completely destroyed, the destroyer released many bombs as a final attack. Seeing that, Alan then ran over. Fortunately, Alan managed to avoid the explosion. The The mining facility and destroyer were destroyed by the devastating explosion. The next day, Alan struggled to bring the 7 back to the base, and Alan managed to bring it all the way to the finish line. Then the Sergeant Major Sheridan came to see Alan and gave shocking information. The sergeant said that it turned out that the base had just managed to repulse the first wave of destroyer attacks that appeared in large numbers. Afterwards, there were media reports of several asteroid fragments allegedly falling to various locations on Earth. Each of these shards turned into a destructive force after hitting its location. Now all countries are ready to ally and deploy their respective militaries to deal with the invasion of destroyers estimated at tens of thousands of units. After receiving intensive care, Alan was called by Sergeant Sheridan. She asked Alan, how did Alan defeat a destroyer without heavy weapons? Alan replied, the entire system destroyer will be damaged if the main ventilation hole on the robot is blocked. After that, Sheridan said that this information would save millions of lives and officially appointed Alan as a ranger as a reward for his efforts in facing the destroyer. Sheridan also said that Jay must be proud of Alan. Now, Alan was no longer a candidate haunted by trauma. In front of his comrades who were ready to continue the battle, Alan gave a speech of encouragement that burned the soul. As elite soldiers, they would not retreat and would never surrender. Then they all boarded helicopters to join the global shielding operation and fought on the urban front lines. In the middle of the flight, Alan was able to sleep for a while quietly as he had recovered from his trauma. And the movie finally ends.